Hello. Hi, my name is Dylan. Working for Incorta as a solution architect. And today I'm going to go over this Incorta Spark integration. Basically, I'm going to go over Spark overview, explain why we use Spark, and I'm going to talk about how Spark fitting into Incorta overall architecture, and also go over installation and configuration. Then I will show how to create the first MV in Incorta, and I'll go through the demo. Okay. Okay. Here is I'm going to provide an overview of a Spark. What is Spark? Okay, Spark is a general purpose framework for parallel processing in cluster. Okay, so the idea is that first of all, it is a general framework, so it's not really for specific purpose. However, in the case of Incorta, we are going to use for processing data. It's kind of like the role play, the typically people say the ETL program play in the data warehouse architecture. Incorta is not require you to having a data warehouse. However, you can still using programs such as Spark to process the data, to transform the data, like what you are doing in a typical ETL tool. Okay, and Incorta does not require Spark, so you don't have to use this. But if you have such requirement of doing some more advanced transformation, you can use Spark. And sometimes people using this the term of data regularly, and basically to do some kind of cleansing and produce the TD data. That also, this is popular term used in data scientist world, and Spark can also use for that purpose. And so this is the framework, and sometimes people ask about, oh, why not other programming language directly, such as allow people to write script in shell script, allow people to write the program in Java or Python directly. Okay, so Spark is different. Is that it have a very rich library for handling structured data. And it allows you to write a program in something called functional programming. That basically making writing such program much easier. Okay, instead of writing, for example, instead of writing a for loop to loop through element, it's kind of like a SQL, allow you to perform a set process. In a way, that's the way how I learn and see the benefit of using Spark as the processing framework for Incorta. Okay, it also supports SQL. Earlier version is supporting SQL using Hive, and since Spark 2.0, NC SQL are also supported. And also earlier version Spark used the RDD. That is not officially recommended by company, the Databricks company, who is the company behind Spark. More and more people are moving to data frame. Okay, I will go over that later. Okay. And another benefit which we can see maybe the future extension is that currently Incorta Spark integration, many using Spark Data Frame, Spark SQL, and Spark Core, and running on the standalone cluster. Right? But in the future, there are several possible extensions for those people integrate Incorta with Spark to get an additional advantage. And also maybe even the Incorta in the future can also leverage this. Okay, this features such as streaming data, provide like almost non-stop incremental machine learning. Okay, Incorta data can be provided as the training data and the testing data for building the model, and the Incorta can also integrate with the generated model for scoring or labeling the data. Okay. And Incorta data can also be used for graph processing if necessary. Okay. And also the future extension is that if you have the real big data, the volume data, and you would like to use cluster managers such as Yarn or Meso, the Incorta Spark integration can be extended for supporting those scenarios. Okay, this slide I'm going to go over briefly about how Spark processing the data. This is not Incorta. This is the Spark execution flow. You can see more detail in the Spark website. It describes how the Spark processing the data. Okay. Okay, this is the diagram show up in the Apache Spark URL page. Okay, I'm going to go back to my slide. Okay, Incorta assumes that the Spark can install in the same machine as Incorta or as a separate hardware. Okay, Incorta allows you to do either or. And during the process, what happened is that Incorta side is treating like a client program to the Spark standalone cluster, and this Spark master and worker, these are the process which are waiting there, listening to get the request from the client, and the client side are the is called a driver program that's submitting the job to Spark master. Okay. So what happened is that Incorta side will having this Spark program, such as Python or SQL, and it's very similar to the way how the typical SQL database work. In the SQL database, right? When you use JDBC, you use like create a connection to database, right? And on the client side, JDBC program, you have a connection. Right? In the equivalent to the Spark is called Spark context, and in Spark 2.0 they changed to Spark section, but similar type of concept. So this is the connection to the cluster, and it connects to the master, and your code actually running here, but the server process running here, and those server process after it is submit to this Spark master, it actually will determine which workers will take the job, and the worker will actually start executor. Okay, and this executor will have like multiple thread, and this is the task, really read and write the data. And after this finish, this is gone, but the master and the worker are still in the listening mode. Okay. So this is the slide briefly list what I just mentioned. Yeah, each master and worker actually have two processes at least. One is the JVM process that listening and handling the job from the client. And another one is that it also have a web UI that is like an embedded web server, and it can show the task it is currently handling, show the progress. Okay, and as I mentioned, application code is sent from the driver and to the executor, and executor rewrite the product. And also the thing is that you can control how much memory allocate to running the Spark job. Memory can be assigned at a worker level. Okay, and you can give them a hard limit. And so when the Incorta and the Spark are running in the same machine, I think this is helpful. Okay, to have less interfere between each other. Okay, here I want to talk about more from the developer perspective. Spark provides the data frame. This is an important concept. And data frame organize data into named column, very similar to the database table. In terms of Spark and Incorta integration, we provide Spark with the Parquet file, and the Spark data frame can read from a Parquet file, and Spark data frame can be written into a Parquet file. And in between read and write, typically we assume that people will follow this Spark data frame API. So you can see this example. Okay, this is something which Incorta will do, but the person who write the Spark program will write something like this. Okay, you can do a filter, you can perform join, you can perform group by, and can do aggregate. This is kind of a concrete example about how Spark can be used together with Incorta. Okay. And actually, it also having the capability of to generate can run in a SQL. So you see this example. Let's say the data already available in data frame, and by registering a data frame with kind of like a table alias, it can be used in a SQL statement like this. Okay. So Incorta Spark integration, they reach the feature from Spark to do this table processing through data frame. Okay, now I want to describe how Spark fitting into Incorta from the Incorta data process perspective. Okay, this diagram describe how Incorta process data before we introducing Spark. Okay, Incorta can extracting data from the SQL database through the DBC, can support CSV or Excel file. Incorta can also get in the data from the web service, such as Salesforce and ServiceNow. Okay, when the data extract into Incorta store data in Parquet file. Okay, this is a Parquet file. Okay, this is our staging area. Okay, and these are in the file system. Okay, then the data will load it into Incorta engine, and this is the memory area. Okay, and this is the Incorta's data storage. And when their user having query request from the dashboard or ad hoc query, it actually run against Incorta engine, and which is responding data from memory data store. In addition to storing data in memory, in this Incorta also backup the data dump into the snapshot file. And the snapshot file is being used when the Incorta is stop and restart. Then Incorta will load the memory data structure from its own snapshot file. Okay, and in the Incorta memory engine, it have formula column, built-in reference. The formula column is the way how Incorta can transform the data. So if you want to do like a string, substring, string process, or like number calculation, this can be supported in formula column. So you don't really need Spark if you have very simple data processing. Okay. And what Spark can do is that Incorta introduced this feature called Materialized View. A Materialized View is another object that is not based on the source data, but is created in Incorta. And it's created based on other data already loaded into Incorta. And you write the program in Spark Python or Spark SQL to process the data and to produce the new data set. And then the new data set will be right back as a Parquet file. And once the MV is loaded, it works just like other table. So you can do join, you can create formula column, you can create alias. It's just like other table. Okay, and this process are executed as part of the Incorta regular loading job, which can be scheduled as a regular refresh. Okay, so this is the diagram to show how Spark fitting into overall data load process. So the data coming from external, right, and stored in the staging area in the Parquet file, and the Spark program will read the data in the Parquet file and then write back as Parquet file. After that, the data will still load into Incorta engine like the other tables. Okay, now I'm going to move another topic. Is quickly walk through you how to install and config Incorta Spark integration. Okay, you can download a Spark from the Spark website. So this is and currently we support 1.62 version, and support you can select this preview for Hadoop. Okay, depending on, I think you can just pick the dates, and you can see the direct download. If you click on here, it will start downloading into your laptop, right? And you can also do this like what I did here. Mouse over, copy link. Right? This is the link that you can download. Right? Download from into server. So what you can do is that you can, let's say, you can go to the server machine and you can do this wget to get the software. Okay, that's the way what you can do. Okay, after you get the file, run this command to extracting and compress the data, and you will see the a directory like what I have here. Okay, this is the folder just unzip from the Spark package. Okay, and you can do a very quick verification by doing this bin PySpark. And if your installation is not correct, you may see some error here. Otherwise, you will see something like a info and a warning only without any error. Okay. Then this means that the Spark is accessible. It is actually installation is correct. Okay. Okay. Exit out. It's just quick verification. Okay. Okay. So then this is about Spark configuration. Many of these are actually optional, right? You see this web UI, external IP, and memory use, as I mentioned earlier. You can control memory. These are all optional, but let me show you how to do this. Okay, okay. So I'm in in this directory. I call this Spark Home. Okay, and go to the Spark Home and under config. You will see a whole bunch of the file. Before you editing anything, you won't see this file. You will only see the file like this. Okay, this is the provided by the Spark package, assuming that you don't need to do anything, right? Because all these are optional. But if you run into the situation such as, for example, right, like the Spark running the master UI in AT80, and Incorta also happen to having the default port in AT80, right? So if you run Incorta first, then run Spark, you won't have an issue, right? That because the Spark will detect saying, oh, AT80 already in use. Let me use the next one. But otherwise, you won't be able to know which port you are using. So I suggest you to actually do something similar to what I'm doing here. Is that I override the web UI to port. You see this one and this one. This will give you like a more static port number you can use, and later you will need this. Okay, I will show you. Okay. Then another thing we run into earlier is that Spark public DMS, this port. Okay, this Spark public DMS port is something which external facing. Okay, so if I want to access in the Incorta, can access from here. Okay, accessing this Spark web UI, which I will demo later. Okay, and another thing is that can control is that Spark worker memory. This is try to limit it. So in this instance, for Spark to working on the job, it won't take more than 4G. Okay. So this is the very basic configuration, which most of them are optional, depending on if that situation is capable for you. Okay. And another thing is that Spark provide the logging, and but you need to make it in for you to investigating issues, but you need to enable it. The way how to enable this is go to another directory, another file. It's called sparkdefault.conf. Okay, this file is providing the default value when the Spark launching its job. So typically, if you change this file, you will need to restart the Spark process. Later, I will demo how to do it. And if you change this, you may not need to set up restart Spark. Okay, but let me show you what I'm talking about here, about enabling. Okay, these two property is for enabling logging. Okay, this file, this directory, I create this directory, then I point it. So this can be anywhere. Okay, but you need to having enough space because Spark will starting to generate a lot of information here. Okay, I can quickly show in my machine. You see a lot of log, right? This can be purged regularly, but this is useful for sometimes useful to do debug, to perform some debugging. And the history server is for supporting the for allow you to view the job history. This is also for investigating issues. This is also optional, but recommended, at least for your dev machine. Once you're in a production, depending on if you production system, you may not need this. Okay, but in the debugging stage, or in the initial stage when you try to figure out some setting issue, this help. Okay, to enable history server, what you need to do is that go back to the conf directory and editing this file. Okay, you can see what I have is the, see here, right? This line. This line basically tell the Spark where to put the historical log information. Okay. Next, this one is required. Okay, this is about. Let me explain what this step is. Okay, actually, if you are not using Spark with Incorta, you may be okay to not having a Hive metadata database. Okay, because of Spark internally, just like Incorta, also use JavaDB as a database. Okay. However, JavaDB, that's embedded database, having one of the issue that is that it cannot share across different, cannot basically supporting concurrency. You can only have one session at a time. Okay, so we recommend you to either use MySQL or use Oracle database as the Hive database. And if you are using Incorta with using Spark with Incorta, you have to set this up. Okay, the way how to set it is just simply create a file like this, Hive minus site.xml, a file like this in the Spark home config directory. Okay, let me quickly demo here. Okay, my machine. So this is my Spark home conf directory. You see the file called hive.site. Okay, and this is the file, and this file will look like this. It provide nothing but just a database connection, right? And in this right hand side, this example, we are using the Oracle database as example, right? And next page, I'm going to show you the example for MySQL. Okay. And providing this file is not sufficient, because of this is just tell you how tell the Spark saying that use this database as the Hive metastore database. However, Spark may not check it if you don't enable it. So let's go back to this spark-inf file. Okay. So there's an important setting is Spark Hive equal to true. This is enable Hive related feature, that's Spark SQL feature in your instance. And in addition to this, Spark itself does not ship the JDBC driver. So you need to make the JDBC driver available to Spark. Fortunately, Incorta shipped the MySQL and the Oracle JDBC driver. So you can define something like this, class paths, where the Incorta are installed, okay? And in the Incorta home server, lib, this directory, we have the JDBC driver. So you can set the class path and assign the class path to Spark class path and the Spark submit class path, and to make the JDBC driver available for Spark to access the Hive metastore. Okay. Okay, here this page I show the same file Hive -site.xml for MySQL database. Okay, the key thing is that you need to provide an address and also provide the driver. Okay, that's the main difference between the MySQL and the Oracle database. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to start the Spark job. In my case, I already started already. Okay, let me confirm this. Yeah, you will see the process already start. Let me show you how to stop it. Okay, then we will restart it. Okay, by coming to Spark Home and type asking stop slave. It will stop the, oh, okay. Okay, let me kill it. Then restart this process. Okay. Okay, then if I double check, okay, now the Spark job is up and running, right? Then how to start Spark Master? You can do asking star master. After you finish this, always check the log file. Okay, then you will see message like this: successfully start the service for Spark, and this is the web UI I mentioned earlier. Okay, so to use this web UI, you do like this. Okay, come to the browser, type in the URL, and you see page like this, Spark Master already up and running, and this is the Spark Master URL. Then this is the URL, as I mentioned earlier. This is the external facing UI, the external IP. Okay, this means that Spark is running, right? And you see no worker running yet, right? Then let's start worker. Okay, to start the worker, doing this, star slave, and you need to provide this URL as the input. Because in some cases, right, the master and the step may not running from the same machine, and from the step, right, when you run the process, you need to tell the step, okay, which master I'm running for. Right? So this is the association from the Slack to the Spark master. Okay. Okay. After you run this, okay, if I refresh the page, we will see the worker here. Okay, that means that worker is attached to the master. Okay. Okay. By default, Spark take all the core. But you can also limit this. Okay. This is modifying the Spark inf.sh. You can read more from the Spark configuration. Yeah, that's the same file I mentioned earlier. Okay. And after these two processes are started, that means that Spark is ready to take the job. Okay. In this in my instance, I also enable the Spark history server. So I can run here also. Okay, start history server. Okay. Okay. Now let's go back to my presentation. Okay, I already started the master, started slave, and also started history server. Okay, this is the information. Also, we can double check from my machine. You can see 3 process is running. 3 separate JVM process is running. Right? One is for master, another one is for worker, right? And another one is the history server. Okay. 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 Now we just finished the configuration on the Spark side. This Spark is a standalone cluster. Currently at this stage has nothing to do with Incorta, right? Because this is like a separate process, right? So how Incorta know the existence of this Spark instance, and so when you run the job, it will submit the job to this Spark instance. This is done by go to this particular directory under Incorta home. Okay. Let me go to the Incorta home from my machine. Okay, this is the Incorta home. And Incorta home have a directory called Incorta. Incorta, right here. Okay, let's do. Okay, you'll see a file called server.property. Okay, you need to add this 2 line. Maybe you can open the VI to add this 2 line. And the first line, this one, coming from the Spark URL, the Spark process URL here. Okay, you can copy from here, or you can get from the log file. Earlier, we got from the log file, right? That is the address of Spark. Kind of like when you connect to a database, you need to know the connection string, right? This is the connection string. You connect to Spark address in this 7777, and also where is the Spark home? This is the directory path. Okay, so this indicating actually Incorta require you to have the Spark and Incorta installed on the same machine or on different machine but have shared disk, and that the Spark need to be installed in the shared disk. Maybe the process is running from another machine, but this disk need to be available to Incorta. Okay, because Incorta communicate the data with Spark through the file sharing. Okay. Okay, here I give you a quick screenshot. Okay. Now about how to monitor the job, right? I mentioned earlier. Go to this this UI, you will be able to, and I'm going to go through this later. Okay. Another thing is that the logging information provided in this the Spark Master web UI is not sufficient for you to do debugging. So I recommend you during the developing time using Incorta log. Okay, and that is something I'm going to show later. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to create your first MB in Incorta. Okay. So let's go to the my Incorta instance. Oh, one more thing. Remember, after you modify this file, these are the Incorta server property. This server property won't be activated until you restart Incorta. So today I'm going to skip that. But please remember, after you change this, need to restart Incorta instance. Okay. Now I will go straight to Incorta. Oop. Okay, I'm coming back to Incorta. Going to show you how to write a very simple MB. So logging into Incorta, and go to CD MB. So just like the programming language, a lot of time you have a hello world. Right? This is our hello world. Okay. You can go to the CDs MB. Okay, I'm going to create one. Okay. So create an MB. And let's start with SQL. SQL is easier, right? So start writing. And here is case sensitive, schema name, and table name. Okay, nothing else. Okay, you don't need to put this. Okay, just like this. Okay, schema name and the table name. Okay, let me confirm this schema name and table name. In the cells, this is schema, right? And under cells, there's a table called cells, right? So we come here into MB. Actually, this can be created in the same schema as well. We don't have the constraint to say, okay, you have to create MB in a separate schema. But in my case, I just want to separate. Okay. So go to MB and select star from the schema and table name. Okay. Edit. Okay. During this time, actually, you just submit SQL into Spark Master. So you see there's a job is running. This temp job is the job we just submitted from here. Okay, and this means finish. So now this is running, right? Earlier we see running. If we refresh, we see this finish already. Okay. So this means that the Incorta can submit job to Spark, and the Spark can run the SQL for Incorta. Okay, and after this finish, this is not running the data job itself. So remember earlier, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to define an MB, right? During defining an MB, we actually performing the schema discovery. very similar to the way how we get the external data, right? External data, if here I write a SQL, Incorta go fetch the data from the source and try to get the schema definition only and then populate here, right? And using some sample data to verify the data type. Right? Here, Incorta, it does the same thing with Spark. By running the Spark SQL program, ask Spark to return the structural information, and we translate that to Incorta schema definition and allow you to save it. Okay. At this point, the data have not yet created in Incorta yet. Only the schema definition is created. Okay, after I click done, you'll see my first sales MV is just created and then with 0, right? That means data have not yet loaded into Incorta. Okay, so what we need to do is next thing is we need to load the data. You can submit a full load, but it will load everything. So I can full load only one single table during the development time, right, for testing the logic. You can just load it, okay, and then come back, refresh. You'll see the job is here. Okay, now this is the real MV job. That SQL is being executed. Okay, and at this time you can kill it. Sometimes if this never return, you can kill it from here. Okay. So now we can see the status as well. Okay. Now I want to show like how to get the log information. Earlier I say okay we should get from the Incorta log, right? So Incorta log is here under Incorta home LF. Server log Incorta. Your name of the tenant, in my case is demo, and today's day. Okay, today is 12/18. Okay, I'm monitoring the Incorta log. So let's create another MV. Okay. Earlier I just created a SQL-based MV, right? Let's create a Python MV. So that help you to understand what's going on behind the scene. Okay, let's select Python, and what you would do is like earlier we see in the Spark API, right? You can create a package file. Create a data frame from the package file. We already provide a function for you, so you can say I want to create a data frame. This can be anything. This is just a variable. Okay, you can say okay I want to create a data frame sales, which is equal to read, and this is case sensitive. Okay, schema table. Okay, then this means that I want to read this Incorta schema as a data frame, right? And this actually it will go to the package file and read that package file into data frame. Okay, then later you can say I want to save this data frame, the data of the data frame. I want this program to return the data of this data frame back to this MV. I have not created MV yet. Right? Going to do this, okay, and add it. Okay, what it will do is that you can see refresh this. We see again 10. Right? This program is our schema discovery process. Okay, finish already. Come back, refresh. Already finished. Okay. Then this is my This is first sales MV. Let's do Python. That is Python code. Okay. And click on done. And you see the data have not yet load. Okay. And let's read, see what happened in the log. Okay. We will see that the log is here. Update schema. Okay. Let me run the job. We'll see more clear. Let's do side by side. Okay. Come here. Moving this. Move here. So we can see this side by side. Okay. We know what's going on. Okay. Then this is currently bigger row, right? So let's load it. Data. Load table. Load it. Okay. You see my first sales Python, right? Is loading, right? Loading. But what is the current stage? It's first do extracting and do transformation. That means the code is in the Spark side. After this finish, is try to load the data into Incorta and finish in the 19 seconds. Right? On the left hand side, it's already finished. Okay. Okay. This is the way how to monitor and also debug it. Let's say we make some mistake. Let's say this is case sensitive, right? And let's say we use uppercase here. Save it. Cannot find it. It'll respond immediately. Okay, this is not a type of error. Let's try to do something. Okay, we can do a filter. Okay, but with filter need to base on the data. So let's take a look at data first. Okay. We can see the data. Year, right? We see the calendar year column. Go calendar year. Okay. Let's use calendar year as a filter. Let's go back to schema. Go back to MV. The first MV. Right. And then we can we can add a filter DF sales. Okay. The way how it worked earlier, I show you. Go back to the documentation, see how they how the Spark language perform filter. You see the filter, right? Filter, like this. We will do the same thing here. Filter, and we know there's the column called calendar year, right? Uppercase, right? Calendar year greater than what's the year? Like this. Okay. I just add a filter and save it. Go back to C log. It will perform the schema discovery stage, because anytime when you modify the script and click save, right? Okay, now we produce an error. That's the purpose. Okay. Say df is not defined, right? There's an error here, but if you want to see more detail, you see here. Yeah, the whole Java layer, the detail. Fail to load. Why? Because name df is not defined. Let's go back to see the program. Oh, this should be df underscore sales, right? Okay, change it, save again. I just show you how to do the debugging, typical process. And obviously you can also do this outside using the PySpark, or using even if you are familiar with Python, you can do that as well. I'm not going to show this in this demo. Just tell you how this will work. Okay, now we're just having a filter defined and complete. That means the schema inference job finished, and we can click done. Now, if we load the data, we will see the filter applied. Okay, go back to see the log. Transforming. This is the job on the Spark side. During this time, when you see this transforming, you can go to the Spark Master UI, refresh to see the job there. Okay, finish already. So this is finished already. And because we have his history server started, so when we click on here, we can see the log file. And this log file including kind of like, if you are familiar with SQL, you know the concept of explain plan. In the Oracle database, it tells you how Oracle is going to execute the SQL. Similarly, Spark also provide this type of information. For a given job, you can see how it breaks down. Okay, you can see how it breaks down in like a Gantt chart. Okay, and you can see something called some more detail, right? You can see it. You can see multiple stage, if there are any. Okay. Let's see. I think I already covered this. Just remember, when you write a Python code, you have to have these two: read and save. Okay, this is the interface with Incorta. And in between, you can write your own code, like what I did as like a filter, right? Okay, I think this is the end of the presentation.